Welcome to the SAP HANA Academy. My name is Bob, and in this video we'll be covering the concept of analytic views. In this video we're going to be building an analytic view using the SAP HANA Studio. So the first thing I'll do is I'll launch that SAP HANA Studio, and we've got a few assumptions. The first assumption is that you're in the modeler perspective. You can open this by going to Open Perspectives, selecting Other, and choosing the modeler perspective. The second assumption is that we've already got a data set loaded. So for me, I have a schema called STS loaded, and I have a set of tables, and I'm going to build my analytic view based on a few of the tables in this schema. So we build our analytic views within the content folder. First thing you need to do is have a package. I've already got a package here called STS. So I'm going to build my analytic view within this STS package. If you haven't got one, you can simply build one by right-clicking on the content folder, selecting New and choosing Package. Give it a name, click OK, and then you'll have the same package as I've got. So then to build your analytic view, you would select the package you want to build the analytic view in, right click, select New, and I'm going to build an analytic view. So I'm going to call this STS underscore analytic underscore view. And then I'll click on Finish. The first thing we need to do is add the tables that we want to be used in this analytic view. So we do this at the data foundation level. So I'm going to add 4 tables. The first table I'm going to add is the DIM customer table from the STS schema. Then I'll add another table, which is the DIM product. Another table called DIM period, and then lastly I'll add a fact table called the fact customer order table. So this is the difference between an analytic and an attribute view. An analytic view enables you to analytic view enables you to use measures as well as dimensions. So we're going to take a few measures from our fact table. So the next thing I need to do is arrange the actual tables. So I'm going to zoom out of my view, and I'm going to place the fact table in the middle of this schema. And place the product, and in fact I'll leave it like this is fine. So the next thing we need to do is deal with the joins. So we can do this in a few places. The simplest way to do it is to select the customer ID from the primary key table. So in this example I'm selecting customer ID in the DIM customer table, and I'm going to drag that and join it to my customer ID in my facts table. So then of course I need to do this for all the relevant joins. So product goes to product, and period ID actually goes to order period ID. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to save. So the next step is to choose which columns you want outputted into your view. So let's firstly deal with the dimensions. So from the DIM customer table, I'm going to output the company name, the city name, country name, and region name. So I'll right click and I'll select Add to Output. And you can see them appear here in the output pane. From product, I'll add product name, category name, and line name. Again, I'll right click, add to output, and you can see I'm building up which columns are selected. Now from the dim period table, which is essentially a time dimension table, I'll just zoom in so we can see it a bit clearly. We've got all of these options. So the columns that I'm going to add here are calendar month, which is the full name of the month. Then I'm going to add the calendar quarter, and then I'll also add the calendar year. I'll right click and I'll add to output. So now we've selected all our dimensions, so I'm just going to click on save, so we've saved that. Now when you save, because this is an analytic view, you'll be prompted and it will output on the screen that a measure cannot be identified. We need to specify the central table or a measure. So we're going to go and add a couple of measures from our facts table. So the two measures that we're going to add are net sales and also quantity. So I'll right click and I'm going to add these to the output. So now if I go to my list of columns and scroll down, we can see that we've got net sales and quantity added. But we've kind of got the same problem. If I was to save, at the moment we've not specified a measure. So what we need to do is specify that measure. So we do this in the semantics. So we go to our semantics window, and then in our list of columns, and these are local columns, what we need to do is define which ones are dimensions and of course which ones are measures. So the last two for us will be measures, so I'm going to click on mark as measure for this one and mark as measure for quantity. And in terms of the types of aggregation you can do, we're doing a sum, so we can just leave it as the default setting. So now that we've done that, I can now save. And because we've only specified two measures, every other column will be identified as a dimension. So now that we've saved, we can go and run a few tests. So the first test I want to do is validate again. So I'm going to click on save and validate. It shows us that it completed successfully. So of course the last thing I want to do is save and activate. Now of course we want to view the data in that view. So I can here do a data preview. And if I go to the raw data tab, this is the raw data from that attribute view. And you know it's coming from the attribute view because if I click on the view log on the right hand side and click here, this is the actual SQL statement that's being executed, and the from clause is using this object from the sysbic schema, and the from is from the sts/sts_analytic view. So that's how you create a simple analytic view when using the SAP HANA Studio. Thanks for watching. You can see more videos at academy.saphana.com.